Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where we're working together step by step through each of the ABRSM Theory grades. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets. They're available to download in US letter or A4 and they accompany each step of this series. There's also a page with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can access information about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to best make use of the time when you're in the exam room working through your paper on exam day. So if you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find it all there. If you can give me a like, that'd be really great. And please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's lots more in the pipeline. And now we're going to continue with the specimen paper, the paper S of the 2017 Grade 4 practice papers. And so if you turn with me to page 20, we'll have a look together at question 3. And so I'm hoping that you've had a go of this on your own. First of all, it doesn't matter if you go wrong. You can always just rub out and have another go. You'll learn more thoroughly by making those mistakes. And so we're going to have a look at this melody and then the questions will refer back to that. So the first question asks us to give the technical names of the two notes in bar 7 marked X and Y. We're told helpfully that the key is C major, so let's just map out the steps. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so now that's the thinking done really. Just watch out to notice that you're in bass clef. And so X is a note E and Y is a note D. So there we go. So X is a note E, which is the 3rd degree of the scale. And so that would be referred to as the mediant. And Y is the 2nd note of the scale, and that would be referred to as the supertonic because it's above the tonic. So now we have another question relating to our performance terms, performance directions. And so we need to understand what this word means and also what these words mean to be able to answer the question correctly. So it's important that we keep on top of revision. So vivace is fast and lively. So also is anime. There we go. So now the next question, describe the time signature. We're looking to answer, is it simple or compound? And are there 2, 3 or 4 beats in a bar? Is it duple, triple or quadruple? So let's have a look at our time signature. We're in common time. We first came across that in grade 1. Common time is 4/4, which means we're counting in 4 quarter notes or 4 crotchet beats per bar. And a crotchet or a quarter note divides into 2. We're in simple time. And so we can now answer this question. We're in simple time because we're counting in crotchet beats or quarter notes. And we know that there are 4 beats in a bar. And so we can say that it's quadruple time. There we go. So the next question, write as a breve or a double whole note, same thing, an enharmonic equivalent of the last note of the melody. So we need to write it at a different pitch, but it's a different place on the stave, but so that it sounds at exactly the same pitch. It's the same sound, but a different name. And so the last note of this melody here is C, an octave below middle C. And so, if we're looking for C, we can either, however, we can either call that B sharp or we can call it D double flat. Either one of those will answer the question. It's much easier to see if you just sketch out a piano keyboard. I would do that before you start your paper. So we need to make sure that we're in the right pitch. So there's middle C, the right octave. So here is the B, an octave below that, so that would be there. And then we need to make that into a breve and then sharpen it. So that's one alternative. Or another equally acceptable answer would be to write the D, but at that particular line, and then double flat. There we go. That's that question done. Let's move on to the next page. This is still relating back to this extract of music that we've been looking at just now. So answer true or false to this statement. Every bar in the melody has a completely different rhythm. Let's have a look. So just visually scanning through. Yep. Every bar is different in terms of rhythm. So that's true. Nice and easy there. Now we need to write bars 1 to 2 out again, but we need to write them an octave higher. So we're changing the pitch and we're changing the clef. So let's look at where we are. Bars 1 and 2. We're here. So we're starting on middle C at the moment. So we need to write it an octave higher, and so we need to be the C above middle C, which is here. And so just keep referring back to the page. So now we're going to go down a fourth to the G. So just glancing over, keep your eye on the original extract. Dotted crotchet quaver. Same note again, but as a dotted minim or a dotted half note. And then here we gain down a fifth, 1, 3, 5 to the next C down, which takes us to middle C. Next door step, next door step. So now we're going to have to rearrange the stems. So this is above the middle line, so the stem needs to go down. These are below the middle line, so the stems need to be up. Don't forget it needs a little tail on. And then here, this is a triplet. The stems are going to have to go up. And so we put our triplet sign there. That's that. So next question. So now we need to rewrite bar 3. We need to make everything twice the value, so we're going to need a new time signature. We've already done a little bit of the thinking for this. So here we can see we're counting in 4 crotchet beats, 4 quarter notes per bar. So you don't ever change the top, we need to keep it in quadruple time. So instead of counting 4 crotchet beats per bar, we're now going to be counting 4 minim beats per bar, or 4 half notes per bar. And so that means we're going to be counting in the time signature 4/2. And so making sure we refer to the correct bar, we need to refer to bar 3. And so to double the time values, this is now going to become a minim or a half note. We get rid of the beam, they're going to become crotchets. We'll still need to put a triplet sign. That's going to become a minim or a half note, and then same principle, they will become crotchets. We'll lose the beam, but triplet those. So just keep referring back to that. So everything else, the pitch is exactly the same, we're just changing the time values. Just get the blobs in first. Make sure I'm copying the notes properly. So stems will all be down. These are now crotchets, so we don't need the beam. Oh, Silly me, that shouldn't be coloured in. I've just copied that, not doubled it. There we go, whoopsie daisy. There we go. And so now we just need to bracket those triplets, and I suppose we could go the extra mile and just put that little articulation mark in as well. And I think that's job done for that question. Yep, I think we're all done. So moving on, so a bit of general information now about orchestral things. So the oboe always uses the treble clef. Is this true or false? Yes, that's true. So now we just need to state the highest sounding and the lowest sounding members of the brass family. The highest is the trumpet, that's your treble instrument. And your lowest is the tuba, that's your bass. I guess you could say bass tuba. That's also an acceptable answer. It's not always in every orchestral piece, but it's accepted. Tuba is the most general answer. There we go. Now we need to underline two instruments that might be instructed to play arco. Now that's a string term because that means with the bow. So say for example if they've been playing pizzicato, plucking the strings, and then they're directed to go back to using the bow. And so of course it has to be the string instrument, so therefore it must be the cello and the double bass. So we will now press on to the next question. So we've got some scales. Now if you've written all of your circle of fifths out first before you even do this, which is what I recommend you do even on the exam day, you've already done the thinking for this, and so it's just a bit of map work to sketch it out. So then we need to write one octave descending, so we're going downwards. Just be careful you don't lose out there. We're going to be starting on G sharp. We're going to do the harmonic minor version. They don't want a key signature, but they want accidentals, but you do need to bear in mind what the key signature is. So first of all, I'm just going to get the blobs in place. So starting at a high G, then I know I can come down without needing loads of ledger lines. Space, line, space, line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, beginning and ending on G. I think I'll just reposition that G. Better. And so I know it's going to be G sharp, but we'll worry about that when we add the key signature or the accidentals. So we don't want key signature, but G sharp minor is related to B major, which would have a key signature of F, C, G, D, and A sharp. So I'm going to do that first. There's another step to go yet, but I'm going to do that first. F, C, the G sharp comes twice because you're beginning and ending on that. D sharp and A sharp. So that's the first step. Now to make it harmonic minor, ascending and descending, we raise the seventh. Bear in mind we're coming down, so it's 8, 7. This is the seventh, which is an F sharp, and so to raise the F sharp a semitone, that will become a double sharp. You perhaps could have done that as you went along, however I just find it's less confusing to take things a step at a time, and as long as you write it in pencil it can easily be adjusted, so we can rub it out. So here we go, let's look at this next one. So we need to write one octave ascending to match this key signature. We need it to be a major scale. So that would be 3 flats, which is the scale of E flat major. So if we pick a low E flat, so we know this is G, F, E flat can begin on there. So line, space, line, space, line, space, line, space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, beginning and end in E flat. Yeah, I've not gone wrong, not missed any steps of the scale out. And because it's the key signature, it's a major scale, that is job done. So we'll leave the remaining questions for the last video in the series for this paper, for this year in fact. I do hope that it's helpful to you. If you can give me a like, that'd be really fab, and subscribe to my channel to keep updated. I hope that you're enjoying working through these papers. I'm enjoying working through them with you. Please do visit sharonbill.com and make use of all of the resource that's available to help you there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.